Hello, my name is Reverend Norman. Your leadership team asked me to make this short video for you guys. We know that COVID-19 has caused a lot of issues for you guys. You're working on the front lines, you've got a lot of loss, a lot of grief, you're tired, you're stressed. And we just wanted to make sure that we took some time to talk about that. Grief is one of the most common things that we are all experiencing right now, and grief is a continuum. See, not all losses that we feel measure the same on the grief scale. It can range from something that is minimal to a substantial loss. Everyone has a different scale with how much something affects them, and it's important to know that there's no shame in being sad or grieving a loss. There's no shame in needing to talk through something or needing help. It's what makes us human. But it is important that we don't judge how another person processes something. Some people process things more inwardly, whereas others process them outwardly. So we shouldn't get angry or upset at another person if they're not expressing or emoting or reacting to things the same way that we are. Just because a person doesn't shed a tear doesn't mean that they didn't care about the situation. They just might be processing it a little differently. And the best way that we can help each other, that we can help our coworkers, and that we can make it through this is to talk to each other, to say something, to vocalize our hurt, to vocalize our loss, and to vocalize our needs. For example, you might say, I was really close to that resident that died yesterday. I might have to step out of the room today if I get overwhelmed, or it just hits me. I'm sorry if that inconvenienced you, but I just want you to know. And that you should know that there's nothing to be sorry about. And you might also say, hey, I know that this is hitting me, but all I really need is if you could just give me a few words of encouragement or maybe a moment to collect myself when you see that I'm struggling. That would really help me so that I can get back to work and I can keep processing through this. See, this lets the people on your team know what you're going through. It essentially says, hey, I need your help. I want you to see how I'm feeling while I'm struggling, and I'd love your encouragement. That way, they know how to help you. People know how to reach out and assist you in walking through the process of grieving. When people know how to help you, then they feel more empowered to help. And so a great way to do that is by talking, by saying, hey, I need a little encouragement this week. It's been hard. Communication like this is so important when it comes to grieving. We were created to be in a community, and being part of community or being part of a community is the best way that we can process through grief. See, grief is an experience that completely shocks our system. It takes time for us to realize that we have been affected. It often presents itself in denial. And the first thing that we have to do is that we have to overcome the shock of the event. And once we're able to do so, once we're able to put it in words, we're able to move on. So that's why it's important for you to talk to other people, other coworkers, family members, friends about what you're going through. Share your feelings, share your experiences, share your loss. If you're grieving the loss of a resident, a coworker, a friend, a job, maybe a lifestyle pre-COVID, talking through that is a great way to work through that. If it's a person that you've lost, talking about memories about this person, reminiscing about those is a great way to walk yourself through the grieving process. I know that some of our facilities have put up memorial walls for patients where you can see their picture, and they've created a room where you can put sticky notes or just notes or write on a wall or a banner things about that patient, memories that you loved, experiences that you shared together. That way other residents, other people can walk by, maybe if it's just staff, can walk by and see that and see that you aren't the only one affected, that these people had deep, lasting, meaningful memories with those people as well. I think it's a great way to honor them, and it's a good way to get things off your chest. So take some time to do that. Take some time with your team. Take some time with the people around you. Talk about the person that you lost. Talk about the issue. Talk about things that are going on. Address your hurt. Talk about what you've experienced. You don't have to have a fancy degree. You don't have to be a pastor, counselor, reverend, or a doctor. You just have to listen and to care. They know that what you're saying matters. And they want to help you through the process. And we want to help each other. Because grief is a process. We can't expect our emotions to go away immediately. The best way that I've heard this said is the box metaphor. Our lives are like a box. And inside that box, we find a giant ball. And when grief first happens, that ball is big. There's not a lot of room in the box, and it's hitting things, which sets off emotions when we get shaken off a little bit. But over time, our ball gets smaller. And while it's still there and we still feel the things, the time between when it hits the wall, when it shakes us up, becomes less and less. And so we have these things, and the ball will bounce around, and occasionally we'll get shaken up. Things will trigger us. We'll remember things. A lot of times it's birthdays or anniversaries come up, and we see a remembrance of this thing. And it's a cycle. It's a process. And we cycle through these things. We have denial, you have anger and bargaining and sadness, until we make it to this process of acceptance. And a lot of us want it to be linear, but most time it's not. And the most important thing that you can do in this process is just to be open and available to the process of grieving, to not try to fight it off, but to grieve. To allow yourself to go through that process that's there and readily available for you. It's just waiting to happen. These are the important things that you need to know and to talk with your people about. Be willing to process through these things. I know it's a scary time. I know a lot's going on, and there's a lot of uncertainties. Whatever your reason is for needing this video, whatever grief you're feeling, it's going to affect you. It's hard to say that it won't. So let it affect you, but let it help you grow. Your organization, your leadership team, they care for you genuinely and deeply. They want to be there for you long term and help you be the best, whatever position you are. And so they care about you more than you probably think. And that's why they have me and other people who are on call to talk to you about these things when you need it. Your leadership team will probably provide you with a number to be able to call to reach me or a number of other pastors if you need someone to talk through what you're going through. I love you guys. I'll be praying for you, and I hope the best and continuing in strength and hope that we'll get through this together. Thank you.